Mr. Garvey is a PI.
Brock contacted a private investigator in Miami?
Yes.
Well, that's very intriguing.
Says the message on his answering service. Can't be reached, out of town.
Well, it's typically hard to find private investigators. They're usually pretty elusive.
Or he can't afford an answering service.
Why didn't you tell him what you want?
Isn't police commissioner enough to warrant a return call?
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, now I'm really worried.
Why?
Bobbie's past. She's always said that she told Brock everything about it, and I do believe her.
All right. So, the question is, what else is Brock after? I mean, Bobbie told me about this sudden trip that Brock told her that it was a business deal.
Well, what else did she say about it?
Oh, nothing else. I mean, I guess, nothing I can recall anyway.
You guess?
Well, she said that she told me everything she knew.
Now, she was under a lot of stress when you were talking to her, when you were questioning her, right?
Right.
Robert, do you think that I could talk to her?
What?
She might think of something when she's talking to me that wouldn't occur to her when she's talking to you or the police.
All right. I think you're in for some rather slim pickings, but you got my blessing.
Thank you. Nice to have your blessing. For a change.
Yeah. I'm really worried about this case. I hope you can come up with something to help Bobbie. Because she's getting involved in this deeper by the minute. Hi. Said you were here. Just got back from the airport.
You free to talk?
Sure, have a seat. What can I, do for you?
Two things, really. First, I'd like to know why you went to Florida, if you don't mind telling me.
All right. Turns out that's where Brock made his secret little trip to.
Come up with anything?
Yeah, we tracked him to Palm Beach. The trail after that led on to Miami. Now, it appears that he probably met up with a PI down there, a guy called Garvey. Probably a lowlife.
You're thinking Brock went to Florida to get more information on Bobbie.
It's possible.
He also could have gone on a completely different matter, about somebody else.
I'd like to think that.
But you don't.
Well, I'm not saying that. It's just that I've got to have some facts. I don't mind telling you, I'm up against it on this one.
Yeah, I know. But at least that tells me you're not happy with the DA's case.
No, I'm not. But I've still got too many unanswered questions, like where is the third bullet out of that gun?
Maybe it's still in the person that shot Brock.
We both know that's unlikely.
Yeah. What about this Garvey character?
Well, I still haven't spoken to him yet. As a matter of fact, my secretary, I checked with her. He hasn't called in. His answering machine did say that he was going to be out of town for a couple of days. But the point is that whether this guy is honest or dishonest, I've still got to find out why Brock called him the morning before he went to Florida. But we've got no proof that they actually met up in Miami.
Yeah, but it's most likely that they did.
I've got to have facts.
Well, the DA has facts. All adds up right now to circumstantial evidence.
Enough for murder in the second, at least in this state. Well, he says he has enough. You said you had two things to talk to me about.
Yeah. Gail called me. She did a psychological profile on Brock. I'm sure this will come as no surprise to you. The man comes up psychotic.
Kind of man a woman could kill if she had a mind to.
You know, I would be nuts to submit this stuff as evidence.
You can be pretty sure the DA is going to have a similar profile if we go to court on this. Mind if I have a look?
FYI?
My eyes only?
What about the DA?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is what's called attorney's privilege material. I think it's your work product, I believe.
Yep.
Something I've got to tell you.
What's that?
Holly's gone to talk with Bobbie. Now, technically, you should be there.
Holly?
If Bobbie was to say anything, Holly would have to tell me. Got it?
Oh, Scorpio, I trust Holly. I'll take that gamble.
Can you believe it? There's been enough doom and gloom around here. I think you ought to get out for a while.
Well, are you going to stay a while, Miss
Scorpio?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'll get out and have a little pizza, play a little soft music, and I'll tell you the good news.
Good news?
Yeah, the best.
Good, so go. Go. All right. Are you going to be all right? I'm fine. I'm fine. You have a good time. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll get her back early.
Don't get her back early. I'm fine, really. Have fun. All right, I'm ready. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Bring back some pizza.
Yeah, with some anchovies, huh?
Hey, do you like anchovies? I love it. You okay? Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Back to Florida.
Holly, I honestly don't know what Brock would be doing in Florida. He wasn't getting information about me because he knew everything there was to know about my past.
Are you sure?
You reminded me of it so many times. My mind is very fresh.
Okay, so let's say that Brock hired private investigator for business matter. Let's play around with that idea for a while.
When he came back that morning, he did say something about business. Something about some deal that he was hoping would come through.
Well, did it?
No. No. I remember now he said it hadn't. But that doesn't fit.
You remembered something.
But that has nothing to do with what happened later.
You don't know that. What doesn't fit?
Well, usually when a deal falls through, Brock would be furious.
And he wasn't this time.
No, he was up. He was in wonderful spirits.
But did you ask him about the trip?
Yes, I told you.
No, what I'm after is, did he say anything about the trip other than the business?
No.
Go on.
Well, he had a very dark complexion, but even so, I noticed that he had more color. So I teased him about his mysterious trip.
How?
He was acting very affectionate, and I said something like, oh, well, I know where you've been on your mysterious trip, and he stiffened. And then I said something like, oh, you've been to the Bahamas.
And what did he say?
I don't remember what he said, but he seemed relieved.
About your saying the Bahamas?
Yes. And then after that, he was very agreeable. He was darling.
So maybe his trip was successful.
But he didn't say it was.
But he was agreeable, amenable.
Yeah?
And he stayed pretty much like that for the next couple of days?
Yeah. Till the night of the party.
Well, this is very odd.
You mean it's saying that the deal didn't come through, but then acting as though it did?
Yes. You didn't mention any of this when you were being questioned, did you?
Well, no, Holly, I didn't even think about it until we started talking. What does this have to do with what happened later?
Well, he said that the trip wasn't successful.
Yes.
And yet he was acting as though it were.
Yeah.
So it must be important.
Why?
Well, I'm going to let Robert figure that out.
I'm thinking.
Well, that's a good sign when I say something and then you start thinking.
Called food for thought. Now, Bobbie said she does not believe that Brock would have put a PI onto her to find out information about her past. However, Brock came back from that trip and said that it was unsuccessful, but acted like a man who was exhilarated.
Very.
So, possibly, something else was going on in Brock's life. Something that had nothing to do with Bobbie or business.
Another element.
Or another person. Someone else involved in the last day of Brock's life.
Involved in his death, which is more to the point.
We find that third person, something tells me we're going to find that third bullet. And I have something. Yeah? Something from Bobbie's statement.
What have you got?
Right, here. The night of the party. Now, she maintains here that Brock had no idea about this invitation until he got back in the morning. She was surprised he even wanted to attend it. It's ironic. Turned out to be the worst mistake of his life.
Who invited the Brocks, anyway?
Frisco, in all innocence.